Good evening, ladies and gents. We're back. So weird thing. I tried to do the thing with my background just because like this isn't it. But it worked when I did a video last time, but now it's not working. It's saying that my computer can't handle it, which is weird, but not gonna think too hard about it, so bear with me. So this is another story from No Stupid Questions. Um, and So let's get into it. It says postpartum care pre-modern medicine. So I recently gave birth and it got me thinking how women did it before modern medicine. How did they handle things that typically happen during birth, like tearing? What if they had a fourth degree tear? Did they just live like that from then on? What if the baby got stuck? What was it? Just a death sentence for both, or did they have a way to get the baby out? So, um, again, this channel is for everything. Parents, like parental stuff, even stuff like paranormal. I'm all about it. I love answering all different kinds of questions. When I started this channel, I wasn't sure about where I wanted to go. Like, do I want to stay in the parents? Do I want to go community wise? Do I want to go military wise? Do I want to go um like paranormal wise too? Because I love it all. I love learning, education, and research. But so it's kind of a little bit of everything, and this is part of the everything. So I have 3 kids, um, and I've had 2 miscarriages, so I've have a lot of baby things going on. So the simple answer is yeah, it pretty much was a death sentence in certain situations, not everything. And miracles do happen, things do happen. So um, with tearing, chances are that if it wasn't terrible, and they had a doctor that gave a crap, then yeah, they might attempt a stitch or two, depending on the era, because they didn't really do a whole lot of even stitches back then. They'd use poultices and stuff and pray a lot. Um, but with things like fourth degree tears and stuff, sorry, I'm mush mouthing. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot they could do back then because that was the extent of their medical knowledge. Even their surgical knowledge. I mean, they did, like I said, they would stitch that kind of stuff up if they could, because if you remember, it's pretty common knowledge by now, but not everyone knows. Um, Chainsaws were invented for this reason. They were invented to help women deliver a baby that got stuck. Then they also had like forceps, and nowadays they have vacuums. They had all kinds of things like that, and C-sections, cesarean sections, were named after Julius Caesar. Um, so they were doing that kind of stuff way, way back in the day. I'm talking Rome, Egypt, that kind of thing. I mean, it wasn't ideal, it wasn't sanitary, it wasn't clean, it wasn't hygienic, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. And back then, babies meant something, especially to royals and stuff, because that was, let's be honest, sorry, a lot of them didn't survive. So they needed what they had. But yeah, or if they managed to live and not bleed out, um, and they weren't able to get, yeah, you just were, it's just how it was. Um, Again, was it a death sentence for both? Did they have a way to baby out? C-section and forceps, the chainsaw that gets everyone, and it gets me. It's just I no, no. um or they would do things like they would try and manually um twist, move, shift the baby. Uh if it was still inside and like it was breech, they do it now. But they found easier, better ways to do it. They would manually shift and move. They would do what they could. I mean, because you got to do what you got to do. But just like now, back then, there's only a certain amount of time you can do these kind of things in order to get a baby out. So to answer your question, And this actually isn't a stupid question. This is from the subreddit No Stupid Questions, which I've read a few questionable. But yeah, this is yeah, I mean it's a pretty reasonable ask. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. It's exactly what they did. Um, but again, that's why what not the reason, but as one of the reasons infant and mother mortality rates were skyrocketed back then. Not just granted, there was also cleanliness, hygiene, all those kind of reasons, obviously, but because they didn't have the knowledge, they didn't know. So it just if it happened, it's unfortunate, but for them back then, it was a way of life. But thankfully, there are obviously modern medicine's amazing for people to say, "Oh, I was born in the wrong era." Well, no. Be thankful. Be thankful. So yeah, to answer your question, uh, yes, they would literally have to pull the baby out. There were C-sections, all kinds of things that they would try. They would attempt. Um, even their hands. So like how I said forceps. Well, if they didn't have the forceps, they would also they got hand. Ignore that. They got hands. I mean, they had to do what they had to do. I mean, you saw that horrifying scene in House of Dragon, right? C-sections. No one likes them. No one wants them. But yep. So that is again, that's just about it. So be glad you are where you are, and I'm very happy. It seems like you guys are apparently doing very good and healthy, so that's good. Yay! Congratulations.